song because, of course, it's my mother tongue. But I reminisce in the moments of victory that I got during that time and how God took. So you can feel, every time, and I have received testimony when I've sung, but these two songs, I've received people that say, like, Shanice, when you're singing Nisanze, like someone just like, yeah, it's like God was speaking to them. Like, how was he speaking to you? I'm not even singing your language, But when you meditate on the song, same thing with as you preach. Preachers, they are different. There are people that they preach John 3:16 and it brings life. So this, because singing is also a work for God, we have to know the life that comes from the word and be able to use our voice to transmit it. So it's very important. Consecrate. The second thing, meditate as you sing. So you have to be aware of the lyrics and the meaning. What does it speak to you? What does it say? When you say, how great is our God, yeah, is it just a knowledge? But try to bring a testimony within that knowledge. When you say, how great is our God, how has he been great to you? Like, let it be truth and life as you sing, and it will reflect in your voice. The third thing, have a clear conscience. This is a very, 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 very important part. A lot of singers are really attacked in their conscience when they are singing. That's why you want to pay attention that you have fixed everything with the Lord before going on the stage. If you have bitterness, repent about it. If you have, you're walking in sin, go and fix it with the Lord. If you have, resentment with a person, if you can reach the person, fix with the person so that you worship God in freedom. Your voice is not bound with anything that is making you feel in guilt. And this part is the part that really differentiates a carnal singer and a spiritual singer. Because the state our hearts reflect in our voices, And also one thing is that it is on an unseen part. The other thing I always say to people, like, if you know you are exposed to people, be careful about your reputation. There is one musician that I have a lot of respect for, and every time he sings, I'm blessed. But, some things have happened in his life. Maybe you may know him. He's like Israel Houston. Mm-hmm. And I followed one of his concerts that he did in South Africa. I repented. Lord. I was like, I think you're coming soon. That's how powerful it was. But now because of the reputation surrounding the person, even though, I believe he has repented, it's not for me because it is between him and God. But you have seen that the reputation has covered the ability for him to express vocally. He still have a very good voice till now. Even improved, if I can say, technically. But the reputation. So when I talk about clear conscience, it's inside and out. So what I'm going to mention about it's, now I'm transitioning going to the technical part. It means if you know you are singing, you have to really pay attention the way you present yourself, what you wear. You don't want to be uncomfortable while you're worshiping. So the choice of your clothes are really important. You have to be aware of other people. I know some people they're like, I know I rock it, so I'm gonna wear whatever I want. I'm gonna behave the way I want. If we have agreed to dance and to harmonize, be aware of others. Because that's one of the things that bring harmony together. Because you don't want to be offending someone while we are singing, you see. That's why we are devoting this time of classes so that we may give our best. Let's give our best. So the spiritual part I'll summarize again. First of all, consecrate your voice. It's not yours. It's God's. And it's a gift from God for you. So use it with him and for him. Meditate as you sing. Be aware of what you're singing. 2, 3, have a clear conscience within and outside. So you better check, everything, and so that your heart really express freely without any sense of guilt, any sense of, yeah. And also about having a clear conscience, focus on God. I have been guilty about it. I don't know for you, but when you're singing and you're just into your voice, oh my God, listen to that. I just feel the way I'm just killing it, Or I'm so aware of my dress, before we got married, with Frank, sometimes I'm like, I wonder if he's looking at me. And I'll be in the right, pose. Thank God we're married. But anyways, before I didn't do it for him, but sometimes there are people we want them to recognize us. It may be a person that, you look up to, or you want to get to be Commended by him. But the one thing you should fight as a vocalist is that God is pleased with your worship. Because if God is pleased with your worship, whether people say like, oh, you killed it, or even if you missed the notes, this is the good part. When you know, like, God, I've done my best, and you know I was not distracted when I missed it's just like, it happened. You know, you fix it with God. But people, you sing well, you sing bad, they'll always talk. So you have to get that assurance, that, the person that when he just says something, it just said all the matter, I've learned it from my husband. Like, my husband is like, before even the compliment, I've killed it, I know. Because the Spirit of God, like, I've been obedient with the Spirit of God while worshiping and leading people. So that's why, like, even people, even if they don't tell him, like, oh, you did a great job, or, oh, this song, he has already put these things, with God, and it's set it. So he's not doing it to, you're not doing it to impress or to look for afterwards, oh, it's Kanyo guitar. Da, da, da. This causes us to really be very distracted and mixing up the spirit behind the worship, But when you focus on God and you're meditating while singing and you've consecrated all the vocal skill God has given you, you're gonna do it well. So that was the spiritual part. Let's go to the technical part.
You give me that joy like a river. You give me that mercy I never deserve. You give me that love, better.
Technical part is, for me, I say, is important as also the spiritual part, because the Bible tells us to serve God with everything. There is no like 10%, 50%. So we have to go to that place of really serving God with everything that we have. I'm not calling for perfectionism. At the same time, I'm calling for it. The thing is, like, the reason why the perfectionism has a dark connotation in it is because sometimes it tends to exclude God. But when perfection includes totally God, it's a good thing to go for. So, one thing, technical part, since we are focusing on our vocal skills, we want all our focus to be on our voices. So, one thing you want to do is to minimize the activities that are happening in your brain. How? First, know the lyrics. You sing freely when you're singing under the shower a song you know already. It is hard when you're on the lyrics, because you're like, yeah, goes. So your eyes, your ears, your mouth, it's into three different things. But once you've memorized the song, it just flows. It's not the same thing as you're reading. So we want to, before we come to practice the vocal part, let's finish the mental part first. Process the words and you memorize them. Or read them as fast as you can, so that when you read a song, you don't pay that much attention to the word, but most to the vocals. So remove that traffic in your brain. Because as we'll be trying to start training our voice, we will be learning techniques. And when we start learning techniques, you want just to be into that technical part than starting thinking, oh, what is even the last part of the lyrics? So it's hard. You don't know if you don't know how you're putting the vocal into a word that you don't know, you just know that you're not going to sing okay, because you don't know exactly and when you're doing it. So before we come, let us do all our effort to memorize the lyrics or to be very familiar with them, because like for hymns, we always sing hymns while singing, but so much we have gone through that when we read, like, it's just like, so either memorize or be able to sing it like a hymn, the one you've been singing since, like, God save, or whatever. That was one. Memorize, finish the mental part, so that the other, that as you sing, everything is focused on the part that you do. Same thing with musician. One, they have memorized their parts, they just have to focus to bring well the sound. Number two, take care of your voices. Upon consecration, giving it to God, now take care of it, like really take care of your voices. And I'm very guilty about it, and God has been rebuking, like, Shanice, I gave you some things, but you use them like trash. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll try. but take care of your voices. So you want to really, don't eat ice cream like from Monday to Saturday. Cold is not good for the voice. But you can eat like Monday and then Wednesday. But you don't want to eat or drink cold things the day of the performance, just to keep your throat really
Humid.
yeah, humid. You don't want to, because you're not putting winter clothes on your vocal cords, so you want to keep it as relaxed and warm. So that was to take care of your voice. And also, as I say, take care of your voice. You need energy while singing. So if you are led to fast, I advise you to fast the day before the performance, so you can have a good breakfast. But if it is really God, I know He's going to give you the strength. But if it's something you decide by yourself, led by the Spirit, I will advise you to fast. If we are performing on Sunday, fast on Saturday, so you have a good breakfast and lunch, because we need a lot of energy while we sing. So now we're going to go to the technical part of the singing thing. Third, know your voice. This is sad, but a lot of people don't know their voice. What I say about what I'm talking about knowing your voice, know what your voice can do. It is for our good, so we don't disgrace ourselves. So what I say is, like, if for example, because I've heard everyone sing. For example, when I say to know your voice, like, I know we will have some help, when, Frank comes and, a pianist will help us to know our vocal range. It means how low we can sing and how high we can get, For me, my voice, it tends to be, there's different type. But that's not really the big deal. You don't have to know the type if it's like, a baritone, a tenor, a bass, a alto, a soprano, or something. You just have to know to which extent your voice can go. That is the important part. So in the future times when we have one-on-one training, we will go to the scales like until we hear where you can reach. So then when we give you a song, we will know, like, for Kizzy, because she can sing really high, we will not fear to transpose one more, For Shanice, we'll not fear to put one more pitch before, because I tend to be more alto, so I have a low, but not very to the high. So it's very important. That's know your voice. The second thing is not only knowing the highest, know where your voice is comfortable. And that's what they call actually the prima voce. It's an Italian expression to say that where is your voice so free that you can sing a song like 100 times without getting tired. So for example, if I sing, can I breathe your name? If I sing this time, like this 15 times, the 16th time my voice will be cracking. Why? Because it's not my prima voce place. But if I sing, gotta breathe your, I can go 100 times, But maybe even a key higher than that, I can sing it like more time. But if I sing like, by the time I'm at 5th round or 6th round, my voice will start cracking, or just I'll be needing like water or something. So it's very important to know where your voice is comfortable. Why? So for example, for those who have to perform, if you have 2 songs, you can put it in a place where it's comfortable or a little bit higher. So it depends. You can manage the songs according to that. But, the musicians will help us. Mm-hmm. So know your voice. So another thing is like, what makes now voice to be unique is the fact that we have different anatomy. Because there is 2 parts we use a lot, is this part and this part, the diaphragm, where usually we get the air to sing. And this part, like usually all this. And we all are unique like this. We are unique. That's why people may be trained in the same way, but they still have that uniqueness. So people can have the same vocal range, the same prima voce, but their voices are different. Why? Because the anatomy is just God's mystery. So now, what do I want us to do? Warm up. We usually do warm up, and the role of warm up is to relax your voice. Before, like when I sing, I used to involve everything. I'll be like, because back home we do movements, like we are using up, down, da 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 da. But when you warm up your voice, your voice is so relaxed that it's not affected with your movement. That's why you can see professional singers, they can be dancing, like really dancing. And also singing, really singing. Why? Because their voices is not affected by the movement of their body. Of course, it requires a lot of training, but you need to warm up your voice. So, since we are on the technical, I'll have you stand up. First of all, you want to relax all your muscles. So you don't want to be like this, and you don't want to be like, so just relax your muscles. Like, don't feel tension from coming up from other areas. Like, relax your muscles. Like, really. Just breathe. When you're walking and you're like, air is just coming and getting out freely, So you're not worrying if the song is high or low. You're just breathing. And also the other thing you want to do, you want to clear your throat. Frank usually help us by doing like It's like sound check of the voice. Like it's starting getting freer. And then you want to cough also. When you have cracks, you just cough. Why are you not coughing? Having air. While relaxed, not like like you have a. Not like that. Also, you want these muscles to be really relaxed. Really relax. So now, before we start on the singing part, I want to tell you one thing that is very important, is breathing. Breathing is very important. Why? Because we are... Yeah. Because we sing as we breathe. We are doing it at the same time. So, you want to develop the ability of breathing in and keeping the air for long in there. It helps you to not finish like, and so you want to this is how we breathe. But in singing, we cannot use the air like that's not even one syllabus usually, unless it's like a song that is like very fast, singing while you're running. So you want to really do economy of the air. That's why there's this exercise we do of
Wow.
One more time. So you breathe in air, hold it, and then slowly. Okay? Let's do it one more time. Wow. So that's it. It's very important to know how to do the economy of air. And also, you don't have to feel pressure. You can breathe within the notes. But sometimes, if you want to have a long ending, you want to really breathe in before and use the... It all not hurt. So you want to breathe before you start. Hirona, hirona, but you don't want to. Hirona, you know, you want to do. That's why it's very important because you don't feel it, but you are actually air. It's coming out from the lungs. So if you know you're going to do a long note that's gonna last a long, you want to breathe before, and don't breathe between the to keep it beautiful and. So what else? I want, before we start, like with Pastor Kizi with Onyami Kroko Kobeni, I want also to give you some tips how to learn a song. So we have all kind of rhythm. So for example, when you start, let's say you want to learn Yabudu Slabi, what you want to do is first just listen. Don't sing. Just listen. At least twice. And you're listening to what? First, you're listening to the beat. 2, you're listening to how they pronounce the syllabus within the. So you have to. Yabudu Slabikos Pada Krista. Even if you're reading the lyrics, you have to do everything that it gets into this beat. If it doesn't get in, you are singing it wrong. For most of the songs. For Black American songs, it's a little bit complicated because they have progressions. So they may be in one beat and then they just. But still, if they transfer in another beat, you have to still learn the beat of that progression. But for most of the song we do in Salem, usually the beat it's the same, or if it changes, we know. You know, it's not like very, kapchagi or very quick. So if you're learning Yabudu Slabiko Spada Krista. So you better first familiarize with yourself with the rhythm, then with the lyrics. Like that, when the lyrics come in, you have already the beat and the tempo. So first you get that by listening. But we are tempted, you're like ironara. You're just focusing on just getting the word right, but you didn't get the skeleton behind the words, you see? So that's the first tip. Listen and listen and listen. That's the only secret. Listen and listen and listen and listen.